Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 4th of June, comes to you from London. And we're looking at the dollar first of all, just sinking lower this morning. So we're just still staying in this short-term bearish mode. We haven't activated this downside target. The medium-term uptrend still looks bullish. That means, of course, that the euro is still in its short-term bullish mode against the dollar, but again, just flat the last couple of days, and the medium-term downtrend is there. We may be just finding some long-term cloud support here. Two targets up and down, about 3% up and 4.8% down, but neither activated, so we need to see which way we move to know which of those targets is most likely. The Japanese yen, you see the dollar actually improving here, so that bodes well for the dollar to strengthen against other currencies this week. We see yen quite often as a lead indicator. No clear short-term upside targets, but the medium and long-term charts are bullish. The medium and short-term charts are bullish. The long-term chart still has a bit of work to do. Looking at sterling, sitting at 134, so that's an improvement off the 132 low we saw last week, but still the medium-term chart, it does look bearish. And against the euro, sterling is still just struggling, heading back towards that 114 level. Against the Swiss franc, sterling did actually break to bullish territory, but is falling away, and the medium-term chart is still quite a key there. And against the Aussie dollar, sterling is sinking lower there, and we see that medium-term trend. So just as against a basket of currencies, we're seeing sterling is actually falling away. Bitcoin sitting at $7,600 did actually trend up slightly on the short term last week. We can see on the medium term chart though that we are still bearish, hitting resistance, so we've got work to do. We need to get back into that $9,000 area really, and the long term chart now wandering through. Looking at US stock markets, they closed quite strongly on Friday in the end. We saw the S&P 500 index up over 1%, activating upside targets to 3.1% higher. The NASDAQ also jumped quite significantly on Friday, so that's looking better. And the Dow was up as well, some just under 1%. The Nasdaq was up 1.6%. The Dow still has work to do to get bullish long term. So the market's still not completely out of the woods, but it's too early to call a sell-off. And the same with the broader-based Russell Index. The futures this morning, the E-mini S&P is up 0.2%, and the Nasdaq is up a third of a percent. So it does look like we might push higher at the open. UK market is up this morning, as we might expect, still short-term bearish, and the mid-caps market actually just looking a little bit better, just starting to head into short-term bullish territory. The German market is up just under 1%, and the CAC 40 is also just up 0.5%. Tokyo overnight, the broader-based 400 index was up, but still bearish short-term, up 1.5% there, and the Hang Seng up 1.6%, and the Chinese local market up 0.4%, so lagging still, and still looking a little bit worrying. The Sensex was up very, very slightly, but it is looking better short, medium, long term. And the Australian market was also just struggling a bit this morning. Looking at Brent Crude, we're sitting at $76 at the moment, just holding the short-term bull trend, so still looking quite good, but just a shortage of upside targets, so quite hard to call where Brent will go this week. Keep an eye on the 1-minute charts. WTI not looking as strong, falling away, so that is increasing the spread between the two. US NatGas sitting at $2.97, so just gradually improving. That $3 mark now looking quite likely. And if we take a look at the gold chart, just sitting below this 1300 level, still looking very short term and medium term, but the long term targets are there, just waiting for the summer rally to kick in. And silver also just struggling on the short term chart. US 10-year yields are increasing again. We're back at 2.92%, having pulled as low as 2.75%. So quite a bit of volatility in the bond market. The German bonds are falling away back into short-term bearish territory, implying that bonds will fall and yields will rise. Apple was up quite strongly on Friday, so tech-driven, 1.8% higher, just kicking out of that flat range we've seen for the last couple of weeks. Amazon, much the same, just pushing higher all the time. Uh, Google, which has really been lagging the market, actually did have quite a good performance, up 3%, so jumping higher, and that's taking away one of the major concerns of the market. And Facebook pushing higher into that 190s area now, so also just making new highs, which is looking good. And Microsoft at last has broken the $100 mark, so that is significant. New all-time highs there, so looking very good indeed. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.